With more twists and turns and a bag full of pretzels, this episode of GT Rider takes in some of the most picturesque scenery available on the planet today. 22 participants from varying professional backgrounds and origins came together for a memorial ride in northern Thailand on one of the most spectacular bike routes in existence, certainly in this part of the world, the Mae Hong Son Loop. A round trip of approximately 650 kilometres, commencing in Chiang Mai in the country's far north to Mae Hong Son and back via a different route over 2 full days awaited the guys. Gentlemen from several different countries were represented, each participant taking the opportunity to both do what they love most and to also honour 2 fallen former members of the group whose lives were prematurely cut short. This memorial ride had its maiden voyage in 2008 and has increased in numbers every year since.
And this is the first time I got the chance to join this memorial ride. I've been working on the previous occasions.
Okay.
So this is going to be fun. I know half of the guys, some of them I haven't seen for a year or two. It's going to be a lot of fun.
This ride that we're going on today, the loop through Mae Hong Son, it's just varied and 650 kilometers of pure fun. And so it's good stuff.
The licorice all sorts, mix of personalities and backgrounds was to make for never a dull moment. A more diverse mix of colourful characters would be difficult to amass. All with the one common goal of enjoying the absolute liberating feeling riding a big bike on a challenging, spectacular road brings.
The lack of rules cuts both ways, so yeah, it's good. It's good. Good winding roads, it's nice. In the north, in the eastern part, northeast part of the country, the driving style's different, as is the south. But yeah, it's good here.
So after the 8 a.m. muster, some brief reacquainting and a word from Mr. GT himself, David Unkovich, it was, gentlemen, start your engines. Thailand's highest point was the first scheduled stop, Doi Intanon. After paying the 300 baht park entrance fee, many with great reluctance, it was onward and upwards. Quite literally. The magnificent scenery would continue to get better as the journey continued. At the top, the official unveiling ceremony took place, both TJ Hamilton and Simon Sintai Grant, no doubt smiling down from above. The thrill of bike riding, of course, is not exclusively the right of men. The fairer sex were also represented.
I love the freedom. For me, it's the closest thing to meditation I've ever come to. It's when you're really flowing and you have everything working in your favour that day. You're on fire. Your brain is really quick, and you don't even have to think about what you're doing. It's just you're moving, and you and the bike, you're one, and it's a spiritual thing for me, I guess. Okay. I love it.
With the official ceremony now behind them, the group headed to Mae Cham for lunch. Plenty of challenging hairpin bends on this stretch, ensuring all minds were kept well and truly in the moment. The first official pit stop and time to replenish energy levels. These boys, after all, would happily admit they are not as young as they used to be. However, many a good tune played on an old fiddle could be heard being quoted, and on more than one occasion. So after a spike in the local food court sales figures for that day, 170 kilometres of spectacular scenery was what lay ahead before they would reach the halfway point, Mae Hong Son, where they could do some letting down of hair, mostly nasal. This loop has some of the most idyllic scenery in the world on offer for bike lovers, easily comparable with other classic rides in other parts of the world. However, be sure to watch out for the stray buffalo or two and their patties. Perhaps not a factor in other terrains. This part of Thailand contains a mix of Thai nationals and various hill tribes, who rarely see a Westerner up close, this was their chance. The first casualty of the ride.
It's a bloody, it's bent right over like like a flooring, of floors. Yeah, of bamboo. They use it to collect bamboo together. Little. No, they got a tube. Yeah, they're not tubeless. No, because they're spoked. Yeah, BMW's tubeless, but the spokes go out to the outside, not through to the rim. Yeah, but it's only a brand new bike, only 6,000 k on it now, so I didn't expect to have a flat yet.
The locals informed us that there was a repair shop around 8 kilometres from here, so forced with no option, that was the obvious decision to make. There was even entertainment available while the repair work was being completed. 60 baht later, Richard was most grateful to be back on the road, keen to make up the lost time with a group who had already established quite a gap. No doubt this little mishap would be front page news in the Hills Gazette the following day. And so all arrived safely at Mae Hong Son, a picture-perfect little town with several wonderful sightseeing opportunities, chosen for its lakeside setting, surrounded by temples, night markets and quaint little eateries. The purpose of the ride was again reiterated upon right by the ashes of one of the fallen, and Richard was rather pleased to have arrived totally unscathed.
We've had like 3 fairly good friends at the GT Riders group, you know, like there was one, the particular first one, he passed away approximately 7 years ago. He lived in Phuket but loved coming up to Mae Hong Son, so when he was interned, the ashes were taken to the Wat here. And then another chap who got killed in Phuket, Simon, and his wishes from his wife were to be interned here as well. Yeah. Nice. And then John, who's also succumbed to injuries from an accident, same thing, yeah.
Same choice of
and we make it first week in November every year, pay homage to the fallen. Yeah.
310 kilometres to Mae Hong Son and a further 340 odd in the morning for the return leg to Chiang Mai proved to not be a deterrent for the lads, who relished the night air, the good company, and of course a little gullet lubricant. Salween River Restaurant was the chosen place for breakfast. Arriving in dribs and drabs, it was clear who behaved themselves and who did not the night before.
The highlights were we had a big group of people, and all very, very nice people, and just a fantastic riding to get to Mae Hong Son, and the group spirit, very, very good indeed.
I've known the guy, I knew one of the guys that died, and I've known this group of riders for 12 years now. So every time I can go, I come up with them just to, give them my respects.
Breakfast over with and the clearance of a few cobwebs and aches and pains, the ride organiser, Mr. David Unkovich, touched on this year's event.
Well, the idea is to keep the tradition going. This is the 7th year we've had it. We never really expected it to start and last so long actually, but guys believe in it now and they think it's a good, honourable thing to do. We've actually been discussing with the abbot of the temple there about having our own GT rider Chetty there for other guys in future years that pass away. Then they're all interested in having their bones or their ashes placed here in Mae Hong Son so that more guys can come and respect them. I think for Phalang, they want something like that for Thai people. Perhaps it doesn't matter so much, they're cremated and that's it. But Phalang, they have a cemetery, they go a tomb in a cemetery, a headstone, and guys I think like to have something like that here, somewhere that people can remember them. And for the biking guys, this is Mae Hong Son Loop's always been the destination to go. You've got to go and ride to Mae Hong Son. So to have that little shrine or that chetty we're going to do in Mae Hong Son, I think it's going to be fantastic.
So 22 began and 22 finished, each with a glint in their eye. To be able to enjoy such experiences in life well into your 60s for many is something to be fully appreciated. And as word gets around following this worthy tour amidst a quiet meal and ale with friends, no doubt such a simple pleasure with like-minded people will attract more of the same next year. We all need to be reminded of how precious life is and to quite simply live life to the fullest on every possible opportunity.